Chapter 20. Final Decision. In the end, a tale of one becomes a tale of two. Which of them has the right to call itself an ace? Amidst the cloudy skies, a link from past to future. Without beginning or end, the ring stretches into the infinite. May 11th, 2019. 1000 hours. Fortress Intimidation Airspace. Hey, Dash, it's been a while, Gilda remarked. The blue Pegasus had her eyes locked on the Griffin's soldier. Everything else lost importance. Why did you do that? Rainbow asked angrily. Oh, you mean her? Don't worry, I didn't kill her. I simply removed the last obstacle. Now you and I can fight without any hindrances. Rainbow had no idea what Gilda meant at first, but slowly started to make sense for her. She returned to confront her in the final battle, to determine which of them was better. Rainbow looked down. Firefly was still lying on the ground. The shock among the other Pegasi from the Mirage Squadron had passed. Mentally, Firefly instantly recognized Gilda. But just as they were getting closer to Rainbow, she turned to them. Her expression was dogged. Stay out of this, girls. This Griffin's mine. None, Rainbow. We're going to help you, Medley replied, though her voice was shaky. She still remembered how Gilda broke her wings. You can't help me this time. Go check out Firefly instead, Rainbow insisted. Other ponies with Griffins were still hovering in the sky, seemed confused. This sudden intrusion came as a great surprise. Yet Zerikos had a feeling there was no point in getting between Rainbow Dash and Gilda. He ordered all of his soldiers to descend to the ground. Some looked down with disbelief, but complied. Swiftfire also told the Pegasi to get down. Medley was still troubled, so the Fire Mare called to her. Hey kid, do you trust Rainbow? Of course I trust her. Then let her do her job. This is the one fight she can't avoid. Medley and the rest of the squadron obeyed, and they slowly landed around Firefly to check on her condition. She was breathing weakly. Lightning Bolt and Derpy helped her stand back up. Lass, are you okay? The Great Pegasus asked. I've been better. Firefly hissed in pain. My left wing. I think it's broken due to impact, Lightning ascertained. Where's that sleazy who attacked me? Ow! Firefly tried to flap her wings, but the pain was overwhelming. Firefly pleaded her to stay calm, informing her that Rainbow was about to face Gilda. Firefly looked up and noticed them in the air above. Several dark clouds started to gather on the sky. Ponies and Griffins alike were staring at the two figures. Gilda welcomed Rainbow's decision to fight her alone with another smirk. So, you actually did learn a lesson or two. Now it's just you and me. No one to get in our way. What kind of game are you playing, T? Rainbow inquired. There's no point in us fighting anymore. This war is over. Ha! That's what you say, Gilda replied with a snicker. And I could care less about who started this war. What was the cause? How many died and who won? I don't care. The only thing that matters to me is you, Dash. So that's how you want to solve it? A fight to the finish? Would you have it any other way? I guess not. At this point, both of them were looking at each other, as if they were examining something. They still waited for the right moment to begin to fight. Say, Dash, you probably wonder where I've been, Gilda asked. I'll tell you. I've been watching you, observing you this whole time. What? So, back then at Ponyville, that was just... Correct. That was just a test. I wanted to see how much better you'd become. While your attitude disappointed me, you had what it takes to be a worthy opponent. It's always been like this. We've competed with each other often. I was watching you even now as you were destroying Fortress Intimidation. Gotta admit, that was a pretty smooth flying. What problem? Your friends. They were helping you. A true ace doesn't need support at all. Gilda paused for a moment before she continued. Do you know why this place is called Valley of the Kings? Because these mountains are also tombs for great rulers of Griffin Nation. And some of them are said to be a resting place of the greatest aces in our history. What are you getting at? Rainbow Dash wondered. After I left, I was training to be a better warrior. To be the best flyer of them all. One of the reasons I came to Ponyville back then was so I could test my skills in a fight against you. Fortunately, your friends were in the way. You were also looking like you were holding back, So I figured the solution to my problem. I'll do whatever it takes to make you fight me alone. Now that they are all out of the way, I want you to show me your very best. Prove to me that you're not like those dweeby ponies. But in the end, I'll earn my victory. Are you done? Rainbow suddenly exclaimed, surprising Gilda. Taking a glance down again, Rainbow noticed Firefly being treated for her injury. Spitfire was looking at the blue fire. Rainbow remembered what she told her before turning to Gilda again. Don't hesitate. If the only reason you came here to fight me is to pull him up, time is wasted. Several raindrops falling down. Dramatic, but still probably one of the biggest cliches in the book. But a likable cliche. And a likable cliche is still a likable cliche. Sometimes they work because they work. Neither Gilda nor Rainbow were paying any attention to them. A smirk returned to the Griffin's face. Here comes the rain. I know you can feel it, Dash. There's a warrior inside of you. I've been waiting for this. Come on, Rainbow Dash! Let's tell everyone else how it's done! Gilda spread her wings, ready to fight. Gilda, I'm gonna knock some sense into you! Rainbow shouted. Gilda and Rainbow Dash started toward each other and exchanged blows. The rain, as well as the battle between old friends, started for good. Those who survived a long time in a battlefield start to think they're invincible. I bet you do too, Dash! Gilda said slowly as she dodged Rainbow's punch. As they remained silent and focused on the duel. Twirling in midair, both fighters tried to find an opening for a punch, kick, or a headbutt. When Gilda parried Dash's attack, the blue Pegasus quickly dodged to the side to avoid her blow. Both of them were in their own kingdom. Rainbow tried to hit Gilda in the face, but saw through her movements. In the last second, Dash managed to soar upward, making Gilda miss. Rainbow attempted to hit her again, but Gilda easily avoided the punch and began circling around, paying close attention to each other and trying to react properly. Rainbow started gliding back and forth in an attempt to confuse Gilda. As they tried to hit her, Dash made a quick backflip in the air. Those in the ground watched in awe. Look at those moves! This must be the deadliest stuff possible, Verity exclaimed. How could Rainbow still fight like this? Overdrive wondered. Isn't she supposed to be exhausted for the mission? That rain is certainly refreshing, Flare Star pointed out, grabbing a few drops of her tongue. I bet Rainbow's feeling right at home right now. A lady opponent could beat Gilda's Rainbow, Applejack said confidently. That's the Mirage Flight leader right there. Watch it learn, Rainbow sign added. Only Flare's eyes seemed to be worried. Rainbow, do whatever you please. Watch yourself. Don't get killed. Pinkie Pie didn't seem surprised by Anna just one bit. Yes, he was still jumping in place. When Twilight asked her why she was so excited, she replied, Come on, it's a fight between the aces. Whenever it happens at the end, it's always awesome! Gear dashing, make you feel sorry! She yelled to the sky. But neither Rainbow Dash nor Gilda could hear her. They turned their communicators off. Now the whole sky was theirs only. Rainbow was still questioning Gilda's motives to fight her. When they met last time, she wasn't as honorable as she was being now. Even if that last encounter was just a test, Rainbow needed an answer. Gilda, tell me, why are we doing this? We used to be friends. That's right, Dash. We used to be. But you chose those ponies instead of me. Just because I have new friends doesn't mean we're not, Rainbow tried to explain. Enough! That issue's already dealt with. Now I only want you to show me what you can really do. Don't hold back, Dash, because I won't. With these words, Gilda rushed towards Rainbow. She went ahead as well. It seemed that they were going on a head-on collision, but Gilda rolled to the left, passing by Rainbow with a grin on her face. They still observed each other into the corner of their eyes, looking for an opportunity to attack her again. Gilda flew right next to Dash. The blue fire removed the movers as he was practicing with Firefly. The pressure flight allowed her to knock Gilda aside and deliver a distal punch that caused the Griffin to stagger briefly, but she quickly regained her senses, flying straight at Dash once again. This time, both flyers clashed with each other at a minimal distance. After a brief power struggle, Gilda managed to gain the upper hand, slashing Dash across the chest with her talons. Rainbow grunted in pain, but immediately retaliated with a swift punch to Gilda's beak. The Griffin dealt another blow, this time in the stomach. Dash answered with an uppercut. They then tried to punch each other, their attacks at the same time. Both of them flew away due to the impact, but managed to recover quickly. The rain started to pour. Rainbow and Gilda were hovering above the spectators, trying to catch a breath. Rainbow's wound wasn't very serious, as he was partially protected by her vest. Gilda had a couple of bruises on her face. Ponies and griffins on the ground were impressed by a quick display of daring movements. They waited in anticipation for the fight to continue. Meanwhile, Zerikos noticed something unusual. "Look at them. They may be mortal enemies in our eyes, but they think they still haven't forgotten those moments they shared together in the past." Indeed, smirks were now present on both fighters' faces. The battle resumed. "Not bad, Dash. You've improved," Gilda praised the Pegasus. "You're not bad yourself," Dash replied. "It's still not too late, Dash. You should reconsider my offer. Can you not feel the bond between us? You and I are opposite sides of the same coin. We're naturally born warriors." "Maybe, but even if there's a resemblance between us, we'll never face the same direction. At least not like this, G." Gilda shook her head while avoiding Rainbow's punch. "Why you refuse to join me? We're so much better than the others." "There is no point for me to follow you," Rainbow shouted, dodging Gilda's headbutt. "Then you're just like the rest of those sleepy ponies!" Rainbow managed to hit Gilda in the beak, interrupting her own attack. The blue mare took this moment to try to beat Gilda in her own game of words. "Well, I'm not like you! Unlike you, I'm proud of who I am. I would never sacrifice anything dear to me for the pursuit of fame or power." "Don't give me that," Gilda exclaimed. "I know you well, Dash. You always wanted to be the best. But in the end, I was the one on top. Even back in the junior speedsters, I was always the winner. You were inferior to me. I was superior." "That's right. You were," Rainbow spoke. Her voice was getting stronger. Even though the rain was hacking in her face, her sight was still focused on Gilda. "I was like that as well. Some time ago, I was considering myself to be others. I thought of myself as the best. I was cocky, arrogant, and never cared anything outside my own interests. But those days are over. I'm not invincible. I'm not flawless. I'm just a regular pony, like thousands of others who live in Equestria and outside its borders. I'm still the same Rainbow Dash you used to know on the outside, but inside, I'm a completely different pony. Because, with a little help from my friends, I've learned to overcome my faults. You're the one who can't let go, Gilda. You refuse to leave the past behind. You live in your own world, and that's why you can't beat me in this fight." "Shut up," Gilda squawked. "I don't need lectures, especially from you." And we've taken the anime dial and turned it up to 11. Rainbow, knowing that talking won't be very effective at this point, started flying away from Gilda, begging the griffin to following her. Just as she was about to strike Rainbow in the back of her claw, the blue Pegasus suddenly rolled around, faced her opponent, and darted upward, smacking Gilda in the face with her rainbow tail, like she was using it as a whip. This caused several gasps among the spectators on the ground and infuriated Gilda. By now, the spectators on the ground have gotten themselves some popcorn, some soda, have started sharing the snacks. "Damn! Get back here and fight like a warrior! Like you're one to talk!" She was flying in circles now. "Come on, what's the matter, Gilda? Losing your nerve? Maybe try cooling off a little." You tell me what to do. Who do you think you are?" "I already told you, didn't I?" Rainbow teased her. Gilda started teasing her again, but both fighters were showing signs of fatigue already. "You're seeing this, Spitfire?" Soren asked. "Looks to me that Rainbow's getting an upper hoof in this conversation." "Yeah, let's just hope it stays that way." "Something tells me that the fight is nearing its end," Chet pointed out. "See? Gilda's barely able to keep up." "Looks like she's barely bit off more than she could chew," Cloudkicker said with satisfaction. "True, this battle's already decided," Zerikos added. "Now the only thing we can do is wait for the inevitable to end." They both realized that as well. None of the Pegasi aces said the word. They simply started to fight in silence, partially reminiscing about their own duels against ace fighters they faced in their war. Rainbow Dash kept circling effortlessly around Gilda. Despite the rain and tiredness, she still wanted to fight. Her determination saw her through countless challenges during the war after all, but Gilda wasn't willing to give up either. "You fired up, Dash? Come on, take me down!" Now, despite being at a disadvantage, Gilda tried to keep a cool hair. Now we'll find out who's number one. As he saw an opening and attacked Rainbow, breaking her flight. Gilda started punching her rapidly in the face before grabbing Rainbow Dash and throwing her away. The Pegasus recovered quickly. What's the problem? You done already? Gilda said mockingly. If there's anyone who here with a problem, it's you, Dash replied. I get to feel you're hiding something from me, Rainbow. It's not due to those ponies you don't want to join me, right? Yeah, there's a different reason. Want to know what it is? Gilda was more than curious, but completely unprepared for the answer. 'Cause I'm too cool to be a jerk like you are! Taking advantage of Gilda being distracted, Rainbow tried to crisscross across the sky, looking for a chance to strike. Gilda's strategy started to backfire on her, but she was oblivious to the fact. Oh yeah? How's this then? Gilda tried to tackle Rainbow again, but this time the Pegasus was ready. Before Gilda struck her, she dodged to the side and stopped in place. The sights of the fighters had met. Rainbow's eyes were still lit with fire and the desire to win. She pointed her left hoof at Gilda. Hated to break it to you, G, but you lost the battle you attacked Firefly. No, actually even back when you hurt Medley. But I gotta thank you for one thing, for challenging me. Thanks to you, I still have one more person to fight and live. We might not be so different after all, but I can clearly see who is who, and you're not yourself. But since there's nobody else in the sky besides us, now you'll get a once-in-a-lifetime chance to see how fast I really am! The Blue Pegasus resumed her lightning-fast flight. Gilda couldn't even move and only kept on pinning her head around, trying to follow Rainbow's trail. She started to lose patience. But hell, how can you be so fast? There's no way I'll ever lose to you, Rainbow Dash. I was always better. I'm the best flyer there is. I'm a true ace! What? Good. It's being the best. If you have any moments of happiness to cherish with your friends, Rainbow asked her. Even if you really are a true ace, it doesn't matter, Gilda. You are alone. I don't need friends. They only ruin my cool style. Why do you say these stupidities, Dash? Oh, I think I know. You cling to others because you're helpless alone. Face it, Dash, you're just a failure! Those last words made Rainbow really angry. She couldn't stand Gilda's attitude any longer. Although she almost didn't hear him, all ponies on the ground were chanting Rainbow Dash. She looked down and noticed them. Their cheering gave her a additional reason to prove Gilda she was wrong. You obviously have no idea how friendship works, so I'm going to show you. Rainbow suddenly changed direction and charged at Gilda, catching her off guard, delivering a powerful buck to the Griffin's chest. You mess with my friends! Rainbow then followed up with an uppercut to the beak. You mess with me! Gilda flew back to the force of the blows, unable to comprehend how Rainbow got so good, and how she managed to keep her under pressure this whole time. Gilda tried to attack Rainbow one more time in desperation. I will get you, Rainbow Dash! Come on! However, Rainbow anticipated Gilda's punch. When she got closer, the Pegasus chambered backwards, causing the attack to miss. A second later, Rainbow performed a powerful, precise kick to Gilda's neck. That was a decisive blow. Both of them appeared suspended in the cloudy sky. For a moment, it seemed like time had slowed down. I pity you, Gilda. Your ambitions almost drove you to madness. This twisted game of yours needs to be reset. It's over, Rainbow said to her rival. Dash. A stark expression appeared on Gilda's face as she started falling toward the ground. Other opponents were cheering, knowing that Rainbow had defeated her opponent. But Rainbow did the unthinkable. She went after Gilda, trying to grab her and stop her from smashing her skull against the solid ground. When the first attempt failed, Rainbow tried to go underneath Gilda. She managed to place herself under her belly, picked her up, and started flapping her wings to remain in the air, at least less than the strength of the invincible impact. Unfortunately, Rainbow was feeling very tired. The battle cost her last remaining ounces of stamina. Larsa saw what was happening. Not hesitating one bit, she flew up to Rainbow and helped her. When the two Pegasi landed and dropped the unconscious Griffin, the rain became more mellow. Bending heavily, Rainbow Dash slumped to the ground. Are you alright, Rainbow? Fluttershy asked, visibly worried. Yeah, I'll manage, Rainbow gasped out. Why did you try to save Gilda? She did all those horrible things to you. I know, but still. Let's just say I couldn't let a worthy opponent die. Besides, there's no point killing anyone anymore. And something tells me she can realize her mistakes, just like I did. The blue Pegasus slowly stood up. Fluttershy hugged her tightly, relieved her friend was feeling better. But you know, Rainbow started, some part of me wanted to fight her anyway. Maybe I kind of wanted to prove something to myself. No, Rainbow. She forced you to fight, Fluttershy opposed. Whatever. In any case, it's over now. Phew! Well, like to end the war, huh? Rainbow said casually with a grin. Both Pegasi saw other ponies approaching them. They were cheering and praising Rainbow for that incredible display of skill and agility. That was a fantastic, Rainbow. You're incredible, Cloudkicker was jumping around. There was some fly out there, Thunderling said. Happy baby, Samrock agreed. Great job, Mirage One. The last praise came from Firefly. She approached Rainbow with her winged bandits already. The two mares were simply radiating with joy. They didn't need any other words. Some Griffiths, with Zeracos in the front, came as well. He extended his right claw, wanting to shake Rainbow's hope and respect. Magnificent fight. You're a true princess of the skies. Sapphire then got closer to Rainbow, poking her chest playfully with her right hoof. Nice fight, Rainbow Dash. Those were some impressive maneuvers. Thanks. But hey, I was just doing my job, Rainbow replied smugly. Guess there's no reason for us to be here any longer. Let's go back. Wait, Zeracos pleaded. I want to say that. I'm sorry. I can't believe we have been fooled so easily by Red Cyclone's machinations. If we had been more perceptive, we could have avoided all of this. You're not the ones to be blamed, Fireball told him. The main instigator of the war has been finished. The punishment for him was clear. You made a good choice by trapping him inside Fortress Intimidation. True, but if Blackstar hadn't told me everything, we would be still fighting and dancing like puppets to Red Cyclone's tunes. But no more. We're no longer going to be bound to our orders and follow them blindly. Like the Yellow Pegasus said, we're not wild animals. We will make amends for our actions. You know one thing, Zeracos. We are ponies. Are always willing to forgive you for what happened. What will you do onwards? Your choice alone, Twilight said to him. Firefly wanted to know about Blackstar's whereabouts. But Zeracos said that he left the battlefield shortly after telling him about Red Cyclone's plans. His current location was unknown. Rainbow turned to the orange-feathered soldier. Say, can you guys take care of Gilda? I don't think she's in a condition to do anything right now. Rainbow's rifle was laying on the ground, but a brief examination confirmed she was alive. Do not worry. I can tell she would be fine, Zeracos assured Rainbow. When Equestria will recover from the ravages of war, we shall pay a visit to your princesses. Dash had small hope that Gilda would eventually realize she was wrong about her new friends, and may be willing to be Dash's friend again. Spitfire adjusted her communicator to broadband frequency, and told all ponies to return to Equestria. They were seen off by the Griffins, some were waving them goodbye. It was clearly relieved to see the war coming to an end. Zeracos promised Firefly and her companions from the Mirage Squadron that, should they meet again, the ponies will no longer be treated like enemies. Any wounded ponies, unable to walk or fly for a prolonged time, were carried by their friends on their backs. Upon walking for a while among the mountainous region, they saw those from Medical Corps, called by Gale at Firefly's suggestion. The Unicorns were able to cast healing spells to take care of the soldiers, which were hurt the most. Meanwhile, the Pegasi and Earth ponies were helping the others. Within 30 minutes, they were able to resume the march and return to Canterlot. Phew! Gotta say, that was one heck of a flight! Quick Chaser said loudly as he walked next to Thunder Flicker. Oh, and by the way, Lesser One, I destroyed 22 anti-air turrets. Huh, well, you got me over by that one point, Thunder Flicker replied. Well, I'm glad to see you as a fitter, since you're still alive, pal. Quick Chaser seemed instantly surprised by those words, but allowed a big grin. Flarestar and Sunburst would lead their companions from Dragon and Phoenix Squadron. Nora's Pegasus looked a little glum, as he lost 2 more flyers that replaced those who fell in previous battles. He cared for his companions like they were his brothers. Flarestar tried to make him feel better by saying he's an excellent fighter. Sunburst squared with that statement with a warm smile. Tornado and Swirl were both suffering from mild slash wounds, but the fact that they both managed to survive mattered the most for them. Every now and then, Overdrive nuzzled Tornado in the cheek to show her affection toward him. He wasn't embarrassed at all. Phew! You guys beat the odds! Congratulations! You may now go do a couple things. Spitfire and the rest of the Wonderbolts were talking amongst themselves. The fiery remained Pegasus moved her sight toward Rainbow Dash, who was speaking with her friends at the front. She seemed to be smiling to Blue Pegasus. Did the last duel convince Spitfire to give Dash a chance to become one of them? Sora and Spitfire both stated Rainbow Dash would definitely be a great addition to the team, but Spitfire remained silent on the matter. Even the 3 foreign aces, although battle-hardened with lots of experience, agreed on one thing. Those responsible for starting the conflict were punished and dealt with. But Talisman and Shamrock still wanted to stay in Equestria a bit longer, hoping to be of some help in rebuilding it. While Mobius remained silent, his expression made it obvious he thought the same. The war had ended at last, but not without a high price. Even though several ponies seemed to have glad to have survived the ordeal, others seemed depressed. They hoped upon returning to Camelot, there would be some way to fix the damage caused by the conflict. 1800 hours. Camelot Castle grounds. As we returned to the capital, while passing by the scorched fields of Equestria, the ponies, especially Mirage Squadron, were greeted as true heroines. And yet, despite the joy, some sort of desolation was present in the ponies' hearts. So many of their friends had perished. The flora and fauna of Equestria as a whole also suffered a mighty blow. Many areas where forest animals used to live were reported as becoming nearly as barren due to the intense, uncontrollable fires. The downpour that seemingly followed all returning warriors from the Griffin Kingdom revealed just how great the damage was. It was no surprise that several ponies just couldn't enjoy the victory, no matter how much they wanted to. Fluttershy felt deep grief for all the poor animals, dismally feeling troubled about her own pets. While mentally Cloudkicker tried to cheer her up, he also felt a little sad. Ladybug was actually astounded he managed to win the war. Equestria wasn't in any kind of conflict for several hundred years. When you look at it that way, we did an exceptionally good job. But so many have died. Blueberry, Carrot Top, Fluttershy said in a low voice. Derpy felt devastated when she thought about her friend. Never again would she hear her voice or see her smile. Dinky and Pipsqueak saw the sorrow on Derpy's face, so they approached and hugged her. The Grey Mare tried her best to smile, promising to take care of Pipsqueak, so the little colt would be her own son. Dinky was really glad to hear that Pipsqueak would stay with her, since he had grown a liking to him as well. Applejack and Rarity found Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle among the crowd. The happiness in both fillies' faces was indescribable. Scootaloo was also delighted to see Rainbow Dash and Firefly coming back. The Wonderbolts were greeted by Gale, who expressed genuine gratefulness for the horror of war coming to an end. Mobius was met with Sky Eye, the white stallion that seemed really glad, and praised the ace for a great fight and how he defeated Hecko. Talisman and Shamrock were both participating in all of these celebrations and warm reunions slightly on the side, but upon being called by other Pegasi, they had no refuse and not join them. In the midst of everything, Spike came to see Twilight and her friends, asking to follow him inside the castle. Princesses Celestia and Luna wanted to talk with them. Firefly saw them off. Upon reaching the main chamber, the 6 ponies were greeted by the royal sisters. When Twilight's companions rose from the floor after bowing, Celestia spoke first. My little ponies, we want to thank you for defending Equestria once again. This has been a great victory for you and us all. But Princess, Twilight spoke timidly, our victory doesn't feel like one. There was so much death and destruction. Yeah, majority of the city has also suffered heavy damage, Applejack added. And all Equestria was probably incinerated, Fluttershy whimpered. Your war is ugly. You never thought anyone could be so cruel as that red cyclone creep, Pinkie Pie squeaked with an upset tone. We could rebuild the city and plant new seeds, but what about those who died? Rarity asked. There was only some way to avert this catastrophe. Actually, Rarity, there is, Luna said. My sister and I have been prepared to fix the damage caused by the war in some way, but we require your cooperation. Twilight, Rarity, Applejack, Pinkie Pie, Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash looked at the royal sisters with utter surprise on their faces. Not saying a word, the 2 winged unicorns gestured for their 6 ponies to follow them, Celestia and Luna, into the Camelot Tower, to the place where the elements of harmony were being kept. Upon opening the magic shield, Princess Celestia presented the elements to the bearers. As you know, the power of the elements of harmony have saved Equestria countless of times. Don't use as you know as a way of description! It's true that the destruction of this war was on a grand scale, but we were able to combine the power of the elements and our own magic and increase their power, allow us to perform something akin to a miracle. There are two possible outcomes of using such power, Luna carried on. One of them would allow us to hasten the rejuvenation of the process of Equestria. Within a few weeks, all plant life should gradually start returning back to the state before the war. Animals would be cured or resurrected as well. It might appear as if Equestria was never invaded to begin with. While this option seemed quite gratifying, Applejack wanted to know about the alternate effect of combining the magic of the elements of harmony with one of the royal sisters. When Princess Celestia spoke of the second solution, her words seemed improbable at first. If we chose the other way to harness this power, we would be able to revive every single victim of this war. Every single one, Rarity muttered. Is it really possible? It is, Luna confirmed. However, for every single victim, we also mean the Griffins, including the one responsible for starting this entire conflict. So that means, Twilight thought aloud. Means we would revive everyone. We would also revive Red Cyclone and his freaks. Then the whole war will start all over again, Rainbow said angrily. For a moment, she thought the idea to bring the dead back to life was the best option. Now she had to alter her way of thinking. Well, I mean, if we were to first take the corpses of said assholes and put them in a jail cell when they were revived, I mean, where's the location of the revival? Also, if we tell all the Griffins that that's a possibility, we can get them all together and aim their guns at them as soon as they come back to life. So, either we restore Equestria's flora and fauna, or revive all the victims of the war, with a risk of starting this whole mess all over again. If we choose the first solution, we won't be able to see our deceased friends again. What kind of choice is that? Rarity answered. There's another thing. The amount of magical power needed to revive so many fallen will have to be enormous. She stopped briefly before continuing. There's a possibility that the elements of harmony may become unusable, and our own existence will be threatened as well. In other words, we may disappear, never to return. Also, we might take off the Matron of Ravens, and we know how important that is. Those words were shocking. Princesses Celestia and Luna were one of the few surviving members of their specific pony species. Additionally, they were responsible for controlling the entire cycle of day in Equestria, lowering the sun and moon to change day for night. Their deaths could have serious consequences for the land of ponies. Each and every pony subject loved them both and would be greatly affected by their passing. Minutes languished, but ultimately both the bearers of the elements and the royal sisters agreed. It would be fair they made a decision on their own. Princesses Celestia and Luna had decided to use telepathy in order to speak to every pony in Equestria and ask them which solution they would prefer. The thoughts of their subjects slowly started to flow into the consciousness of the royal sisters. Many of the pleas were actually wishing for the revival of the victims. Those who tried to oppose this option were mostly those who fought bravely during the war, and were not wishing to see it happening again. Even some fillies who wanted to see the ponies in the deep sleep, as they called them, to wake up, as some kids lost a parent or relative during the conflict. Others wished to see the innocent animals running on the fields and forests again. Expressing Celestia and Luna's faces, as well as Twilight and her friends, with whom the princesses saw their thoughts for this moment, were showing sadness, sympathy, and even shadows of anger. But that anger wasn't directed toward their subjects. The rulers of Equestria were aggravated themselves. It was obvious that whatever choice was going to be made, not every pony would be satisfied. Yet the sisters were not afraid to risk their very existence if it meant restoring the land to its former self. Finally, when all thoughts and pleas had been gathered, Celestia and Luna came to a decision. They were ready to use their powers to amplify the elements of harmony. Princess Celestia, what will happen when we use the elements? Twilight asked. It is unknown to even us. The Solar Princess responded. Every pony had their own interpretation and reasons upon what solution should be used. But they have spoken from their hearts. We are prepared. How about you? What solution will you choose? But, what if we disappear? Well, the elements are not usable again. If another disaster falls in question, what are we going to do? Twilight sounded very worried. But her friends were right next to her. Don't fret, Twilight. Things get bad, we're going to clean the mess up. As always, Applejack reasserted her sprightly tone. She put her necklace, representing honesty, on her neck. Pinkie Pie and Rarity followed suit. saying that they're not afraid to resolve the spell. Rainbow Dust and Flourish slowly put their necklaces on. All symbols started to glow.
Hey, wait a minute. This is the exact same option you did on Fall!
Yes, Trixie, this is where I got my inspiration. Once again, differences between Hamad's inspiration and a total ripoff. Besides, mine was cooler.
I can't say it's gonna be all fine and dandy if the war will start again, but I'll be ready for whatever comes our way. If the need will rise, I'll lead the Mirage Squadron to battle the enemy again,
Bluefire promised.
I want to see Equestria reborn, but I also wish for our friends to come back, so it's difficult for me to choose.
Firefly felt slightly lost at first, but she said,
I'll accept whatever choices the party's made. If the conflict begins again, I'll come with Rainbow.
Twilight was the last to be put on her element, a beautiful tiara which represented magic.
My mind is set. I don't know what will happen, but I won't abandon my friends or Equestria. Never ever. As bearers of the elements of harmony, we must do our best to secure our land. We're ready, Princess Celestia. Luna.
Very well. Then let us begin. Spike covered his eyes, seeing the intense bright light radiated from the gathering of ponies. It was expanding slowly. Soon it fell into the entire Cadillac Castle. The ponies outside were pointing at the phenomenon. Not sure what it meant. Soon they were also caught inside the bright spear, and with every second it grew larger, and after a while was surrounded by colorful rainbows. The power of the elements had been amplified due to the magic of the Royal Sisters. The result of the spell was a decision made by the ponies of Equestria.